Kamel, sorry.
I had a lot to say, but I got to listen to a lot of people talk. So there was just so much. I've noticed a lot of this ceasefire resolution has a lot to do with our community and how we're afraid. I haven't seen any violence happen in our community other than, to me, my business, from the opposing side for a ceasefire. And we talk about wanting to get together and have a conversation and talk about peace. Without freedom, there is no peace. And you cannot have a conversation between a sword and a neck. This is what they're asking for. How can we have a conversation? Mayor, I'm talking. You should pay attention to the person
I'm fully
talking,
paying
not
attention to what you
wandering around,
said.
sir.
You're using up your time.
You're wandering around. Please, respect my time. We need to have a conversation, but we can't have a conversation when there's bombs being dropped. My wife isn't here right now because she's at the 15th funeral. 15th wake. I don't know, we call it Azza in Arabic. It's a wake. We can't go to funeral because it's over there. 15 in less than 5 months. That's direct family. That's family that we're certain that we know. That's not talking about the West Bank where my brother-in-law's cousin got killed today. 15th. These are facts. These are facts that we're facing. You want us to have a conversation before a ceasefire. It's like taking a cat and kicking the shit out of a cat and then telling, once we're done, we could talk about peace. What is this? You people are smart people. You know what's been going on all these months. You see what's been going on for 75 years. Now that it's amplified before your very face, and you know, I don't have to convince you on what's going on, what's right and what's wrong. There's these people over here just trying to show face. Meanwhile, while we were peacefully protesting at the corner, we have someone that's in the audience now harassing us. And I'm sure he's going to come up and talk about it too. You're talking about there's no violence on our end. There's no violence on Main Street. I see these people walking up and down. I can't stand looking at them for not wanting a ceasefire, but want to have a conversation. That doesn't mean there's violence. I don't have to like you, but I could see you. That doesn't mean there's violence. So this line of shit about violence is not happening in our community. What's happening in this community is being torn apart right now because there's a group that do not want to cease fire. Think about it. Just think about it for 1 second. What human being says no to a ceasefire? Let's have a conversation, but not a ceasefire. Keep bombing the shit out of them over there, but don't have a ceasefire. Mayor Lee, you voted no. You voted no to a resolution for a ceasefire. I will not forget it, and neither will you.
Donna Minkowitz.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Donna Minkowitz. To be with you tonight, I am skipping a class that I love. I have lived in Beacon for 6.5 years. I run Lit, the monthly open mic for writers at the Howland. I want to say that I deeply appreciate the City Council drafting a resolution calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Every day I listen to reports from NPR where the death toll rises. More residents of Gaza note that they haven't had anything to eat for 3 days, and more say they have lost their entire families to the bombing, including children. But it's as a Jew that I really want you to hear me. As you may know, a growing number of Jewish Americans, especially young people, do not believe that Israel represents us or speaks for us. And we certainly do not believe that it acts for us or in our interests. Much of my career has been as a journalist investigating the far right for publications such as The Village Voice, The Nation, New York Magazine, and the Jewish newspaper, The Forward. Recently, this has included many investigative pieces about the growing neo-Nazi and anti-Semitic movement in the US, including, sadly, in our area where a disgusting neo-Nazi podcast channel was until recently located in Fishkill. Anti-Semitism is real and it exists all over the United States, including here. But the suggestion by a few of my neighbors that our local Beacon ceasefire movement is somehow rife with anti-Semitism is frankly ridiculous. I have seen exactly zero evidence of anti-Semitism in our movement. As a Jewish journalist writing about anti-Semitism, I have frequently been harassed online by neo-Nazis and anti-Semites. I have no concerns whatsoever about any anti-Semitism or harassment rising in Beacon from this resolution. I am calling on you to pass the strongest possible ceasefire resolution because I, as a Jew, am not kept safe by the bombing of Gaza. In fact, Israel's actions in Gaza are not only against international law, they are wildly counterproductive. Brutalizing, starving, and murdering the population will only create more terrorism. It will not end Hamas or free the hostages. There is no military solution to this monstrous war. There is only a political and diplomatic one. If you're interested in keeping me and other Jews safe, pass a strong ceasefire resolution. And if you're interested in projects which will keep Beacon flowering,
15
pass
seconds.
a strong ceasefire resolution, because only that will take our tax dollars away from Israel's bombing campaign and enable our government to spend money on infrastructure, fighting hunger, small business, student loan forgiveness, early childhood education,
Your
and
time is
other
elapsed.
projects that will help all the people of Beacon. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Kitam Nakle?
Hello again, Kitam Nakle, Palestinian, Muslim, not a terrorist. Let's talk about the Flower Massacre. 112 kids, 112 people died, 750 injured from Israel, the IOF firing at them because they were trying to get flour to feed their kids. Cold blood massacre. How about the 65-ton IOF tank that ran over a civilian, started at his feet, going all the way up with zip ties on his hands? The next day, the IOF is posting pictures of pancakes and mocking them, and thousands of Israelis are celebrating about that. Yesterday, my husband's cousin died in the West Bank. There's no Hamas in the West Bank, by the way, no Hamas. But he got shot in the West Bank, 13 years old, killed. My husband's cousin, his name was Zaid. 6 children died just recently of starvation. And then yesterday, protesting over here at the park, I saw all of you driving around a couple of times, smoke coming out of your ears, freaking out that we're there. You know who you are. But the best part of this is the ones that come with their babies here against the ceasefire. How do you come with your baby, rocking your baby, and like not wanting to stop killing of kids? How do you do that? How do you bring your baby in here?
So talk to the council.
How do they bring, okay, how do they bring their baby in
Thank you.
here? There was one thing I wanted to say about that. The good news is, there is good news out of this. There is one thing that happened that's good. I was in the West Bank on October 7th when all this started. And it took me about a week, a little more than a week, trying to get out. And finally, I was able to get out. A young man, 22 years old, helped me out. He helped me and my sisters leave. He finally got out of the hospital. After 16 surgeries, I spoke to him this morning, and he finally was released from the hospital. And about the dead, decapitated babies, there's no decapitation. Our president, Biden, admitted that it was bullshit lie. There were no decapitated babies. And then why would you have a music festival on a board? It was planned? Yeah, it was planned. I believe that it was planned. October 7th was planned by Israel. Why would they? Why would they have a music festival at the border?
Hang on.
Why?
Hey,
Why
hang
would
on.
they do that?
Hang on. I need the audience to slow
was
down.
planned by
And I need
Israel.
the speaker to speak to the council. Okay? We're not going to get anywhere yelling at each other.
Your
Okay?
time has elapsed.
I need the speaker
Bye.
to speak to the council. I need the audience to be calm. Thank you.
So they say they want peace. How do
Your
you
time
have
is
peace?
elapsed.
How do you have peace without a
Time's up, please.
ceasefire? You
So
can't.
time is up, too. Thank you. Is it Diane Sayre? Okay.
Thank you. I'm Diane Sayre. I'm an activist and candidate and was campaigning here in the street. I'm from Rockland County and ran into this fight, and I just got back from an interfaith conference in Detroit, Michigan, which is the state that has the most cities which have passed ceasefire resolutions. I'd like to thank you and the council for recognizing the importance of taking a stand against genocide, and I would urge you to strengthen this and pass the resolution. I find it shocking that in 2024, speaking against genocide and demanding our own government stop supporting genocide after the International Court of Justice has found reason to believe that genocide is being committed by Israel against the people of Gaza is controversial. Many Americans, myself included, often wondered why the German people failed to stop Hitler from murdering 6 million Jewish people and millions of others, but we see now how it happened by the silence and even support for genocide from our friends and neighbors, expressing alarm and outrage that 100,000 Palestinians are dead and wounded, including 12,000 dead children, that cities, schools, hospitals have been leveled to dust, that 90% of 2.3 million people are homeless and starving, does not make one a terrorist sympathizer, an anti-Semite, and does not indicate endorsement of the attack of October 7th or the taking of hostages. That's a story from media rags like the New York Post, which wish to divide us and prevent peace. We will be judged by history on our silence in the face of the crime now raging. I also have endorsed a proposal put forward actually by Lyndon LaRouche in 1975 called the Oasis Plan for a two-state solution, massive infrastructure development, greening the deserts. There is no reason why, when the killing stops and there is a Palestinian state and an Israeli state, that these nations cannot be prosperous, peaceful, and committed to work together against the common enemies of mankind, namely poverty and disease. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Council ready for a vote? All right, why don't we start with Molly and work our way down?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Did you say something?
I didn't.
Aye.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.